And welcome to Small Business Magazine Talk Show
on the SBT Magazine Radio Network.
See, I like when new guys, they get right the first time. Because we've been practicing, Barbara, while you were on your way here.
Well, you need
Took
lots
you
of
like
practice.
2 hours,
You
go
need
like
a
20-minute drive.
introduction.
No, I'm fine. It's just you.
In your own dreams.
Hey, I'm Davis-Levine. I'm executive publisher of Small Business Today magazine.
I'm Barbara Davis-Levine, associate publisher, creative director, and editor of Small Business Today magazine.
Is that all?
Well, I'm also the head writer.
Well, somebody has to do all the work that I don't get to.
We divide our skills based on our abilities. That's fine.
And you didn't add chief cook and bottle washer.
Well, you know I stay out of the kitchen because the only reason I know we have one is because it came with the house.
You think that you think that's funny? It's true. It's really, really true. That's the way she is.
My children kick me out of there. You say, "Danger zone, mommy, danger zone." So
That's right.
They kick me out.
She can
So the
burn
best,
water by boiling.
I took culinary courses and I know how to
That's
cook
not a
things,
joke.
but all she knows how to make is reservations.
That's right.
Anyway, welcome to the show. If you're not familiar with Small Business Today magazine, we're a publication for startup entrepreneurs and small business owners. In April, we celebrate our 6th anniversary, 6 years of interviews with top entrepreneurs and sharing their stories as well as their words of advice for all entrepreneurs. And since then, has grown to be an international must-read, over 65,000 online readers and a handful of hard copy subscribers. The centerpiece is the cover story of someone who's chosen by a Publishers Advisory Board nomination and subsequent vote. Go ahead and demonstrate that, Vanna. With Ms. Maria Rios on the cover for the second time, this latest issue. By the way, all of the cover stories, all the great articles are archived on our website, sbtmagazine.net.
Or smallbusinessdaymagazine.com.
So you can go under online magazines and there's a complete collection and read all you like. But the best part
Is what I came up with.
is what I came up
He
with.
lies like a dog on a rug. And so it's about the takeaway notes. And let's say you don't want to read where they grew up and how they got to where they are, but you just want to get their best words of advice. And so at the end of every story is their takeaway notes. This one was Maria's best words of wisdom. And it's always something that I'll learn. Every time I interview somebody, I always pick up some new idea. And what's beautiful is you can go back to all the archives and just copy their best words of advice. When you start seeing duplicates, I say, what's a clue look like? You ought to be incorporating that into your everyday business practices.
That's right. You remember when we used to talk about Jerry Brower, may he rest in peace, one of our
Rest in
first
peace,
cover
yeah.
honorees, and he said even the worst idea executed is far better than the best idea you only think about.
Correct.
So if nothing else, just do it.
That's
like
right.
Nike, just do it.
It was Maria Rios, because she's previously been another cover story, and she's just opened up a new division, so that's why we promoted her again. It was about being best friends with your banker and having a line of credit before you need it. I learned that from Maria Rios. Some smart business ideas.
That's right. So she gave us our best words of advice, and when you take all those, don't you call this a compendium?
Compendium, or a Bible of business.
Bible of business. We can call it an MBA program in print. I
That's
don't
right.
agree with that, but nonetheless, I'll take those accolades. Right? So, anyway, but we
And then they're nominated, the
Yeah.
reason they're nominated is they have to be starting with nothing and building something big and giving back to the community. If they're not giving back to the community, we don't even want to consider them as a possible cover honoree.
And I said that at Lunch and Learn today. I said if you're not blessing somebody doing something, then you're probably not going to be blessed yourself. So there you go. Anyway, we used to do this show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but we do it more as needed. And when the lady to my right, Barbara's left, sent us an email, said, "Oh, I'd love to give you a booth at our Expo, Trade Expo Africa show coming up Memorial Day weekend." I said, "I can't have it. You can't just give us something for nothing, because we have to do something for you."
And we love to help. That's one of the things we love
do.
to do, especially things that are going to benefit our community, benefit our country, benefit other countries. It's a beautiful win-win situation.
Yeah, well,
I'm winning more than you guys are. What you're giving me.
Let me talk, I want to give a little about who we are sitting with.
But it was my turn.
No, you lost your turn. This is Dr. Yinka is a small business consultant with over 12 years of professional experience in project and brand consultant. She's the founder of Trade Expo Africa, a company aimed at promoting bilateral trade between small businesses in the U.S. and Africa. She's also the CEO of Opeke Fashions, a pioneering fashion brand aimed at promoting the African culture. Yinka is the founder of Thomas O Women Network, or TOWN for Town.
Right.
And it's a not-for-profit organization aimed at connecting, empowering, and celebrating women involved in selfless community service. And that fits right up where we love to support people like that. Yinka graduated from the University of Ibadan with a BS in Science and in Geography, Bachelor of Science in Geography. I'm getting backwards here. And a Master of Science in Geographical Information Services. She later proceeded to the United Kingdom, where she obtained another Master of Science in Project Management from Queen Mary, University of London, and just recently bagged a doctorate in Business Administration from Walden University in Minnesota. And Dr. Yinka hopes to constantly create viable business opportunities for small business to explore collaborations for increased visibility, market share, and profitability. So welcome.
Yes,
Welcome to Houston. Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
let me ask the first question. Were your parents entrepreneurs?
No.
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 Okay.
No, my mom was, well, she is in academia. My mom is a professor of education and my dad has a PhD. So my mom always tells me that she wonders where I got that streak from the business kind of perspective. But I think I'm like the one that's really into business in my house. You know, my parents, they're more into the education and, professional, career driven.
Your brothers and sisters?
Yes, I have 3 other siblings. So I grew up in a Christian family of 6. So like I said, my mom, my dad, they'll tell you that the minimum qualification you have to have has to be a master's degree.
Wow.
So they feel, so education was very key, in my upbringing and all. But I don't know, along the line, I guess when I left, college, along the line, I started thinking about business, and I just, sometimes you don't know what you can do once you try it, So there's something back home that we call our youth service, whereby when you leave college, you're meant to go and serve your community for a year, So I did that in another state, and there I just started doing a little buying and selling, I remember that my roommate would make sandwiches. And then she'll sell it to me. She'll wake up very early. She'll make these fantastic sandwiches, and then she'll sell them to me at a price. And then I go to work, and then I put my margin on it. That's how I started. So it was one thing to the other, and hey, here I am today.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So do you think it was your roommate that inspired you?
I would say circumstances did. Sometimes when you find yourself in an environment, I think it was inherent, but I just didn't know. So I found myself in a place whereby, so I lived in Lagos State, So back home, Lagos State is like a commercial hub, of Nigeria. So I served in another city whereby a lot of people didn't really go to Lagos State. So because we also had some connections, I was working with Panalpina at that time. They were a logistics company. So we usually had like free tickets to fly back and forth and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to Lagos, and then they would say, oh, can you help us buy this? Can you help us buy that? Can you, so it was really more of the request I was getting. And I was thinking, okay, fine. So I'll go to Lagos, I'll buy a lot of very nice stuff, and then I'll get back to work. I can't forget the very first day it happened. I got back to work, and during break time, I said, you guys, I bought 2 bags of different stuff. Can you come to the dining, to the break room, and see what I have? Honestly, they were pulling it. No, I got it first. And I'm like, really? So honestly, I was like, wow. And you would be shocked how much little things add up. So little money here and there. At that time, I was not even spending my salary anymore. I wasn't spending the money the government was giving me anymore, So I think that was how I started, and then I just grew it like that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
For someone that's graduating from college in Nigeria, isn't it difficult for them to find work?
It is actually. It is. That's the honest reality on ground right now. But what I try to advise them is, right now you have to think outside the box, because it's already a cliche when you say, oh, the government is not doing this, the government is not doing that. Okay, that is the reality. What are you doing about it? However, I like to tell people that everybody can be entrepreneurs, everybody can be small businesses. The truth is that there are certain virtues, well, based on my experience, you have to have as a small business to be successful. You have to be self-motivated, you have to be a self-starter, you have to be hardworking, you have to be resilient, so those things you can't teach people, they have to nurse it themselves, So if you think that you're focused on small businesses, you think you have the drive to be an entrepreneur, then you have to just create that market for yourself. So it is hard, to answer your question, but beyond that, what do you do about it? That's the question.
And so how did you rise above that? Because our situation's been going on for a while, right?
It's been a journey. That's why I tell people you have to pay your dues. That's the truth. I remember when I started, I was the managing director, I was the accountant, I was the cleaner, I was the driver, I was every single thing. So they have to have that patience to go through the ropes. But more importantly, what I realized is that if you know what you're doing, people will create room for you. People will listen to you. You will find someone. You might knock on so many doors, but people will still give you the time of day. So I came from the base. I went through. I didn't have a platform that I leveraged on to say, but with the little money I got, I would say, okay, fine, let me hire someone that can pay this amount of money. Then I got a little more money. I had more people. So I understood the importance of delegating and having a team. So even though I was a small company, I started small, I dreamt big, and I just had a structure.
Dreaming big is the key.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are afraid to take that leap of faith. And you met Mr. Wei Lee today.
Yes.
And he dreams something up, and all his staff just falls in line. He said,
that's it.
I want Minute Maid Stadium, I want 40,000 people there to do we want to do a tribute to World War II veterans who are in their 90s, if they're still alive. And they just fall in place. Okay, they had an amazing event and had medals for all veterans. Remember, we had Gloria on, and so she was 92.
Oh, wow.
Or 91.
She was 91, and some 92-year-old was hitting on her on the
Yeah.
stage. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
But you've got to be a big dreamer,
Yeah.
and you've got to know how to take that dream to reality.
Yes.
And as I said during my presentation, you got to write it down, ask people to become part of it.
Correct.
If somebody gives you a negative, you got to walk away and find somebody, mentor somebody who's already done it or done
Correct.
close to it or accomplished something in their
Correct.
lives.
Correct.
But for me, it's about an advisory board. Every magazine has an advisory board because I don't have all the answers.
Exactly.
Barbara does. I don't have all the answers, and I'm not even sure what the questions are. I'm just not that bright. I'm smart enough to know you need people around you,
Yeah, you do.
who can get you those answers.
Yeah, I remember that, I used to tell my co-workers at that time, if they come and meet me and they're like, oh, MD, there's a problem with this, there's a problem with that. What I ask them is, what is your solution? What are you proposing before you come and meet me? Because I need to know that as an entrepreneur, you have to be a thinker. You have to be a problem solver. You need to, don't just come and meet me and say, oh, let me dish it out. I'm not Google. You get what I mean? Exactly. I'm probably going to ask somebody else as well. So it's nice to have a team. So I like when you were giving your speech and when you said, jokingly that, you're not smart enough, but you're smart enough to hire smart people. Things like that. So
I married one. I'll say that. I said she's
But you
smarter.
hire your weaknesses is really what you do.
Exactly, so you form a team. So it's not a one-man band, it's not a one-man show, The more we do it together, the more the collaborations, the better we are. That's how the big brands are made, because they have a team of, very dedicated, self-starters and thinkers, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I opened up my travel agency. Now, previous to that, I'd had a print shop, used to design logos and illustrate brochures.
Mm-hmm.
So I was designing cards for the travel agency, and then I was going to go to the wholesaler and get a print. And my husband said, value your time, delegate. You've got to
Correct.
delegate.
Correct.
That is your time worth that now? When you're the owner and you've got people working under you. How can you use your time appropriately? And so that's it. It's very hard when you have your own business, wanting to share, let others do, and delegate. And so, but the key to success is making it do everything you do duplicatable, so that you can have time to work on your business instead of when you're working in the business.
Correct. Because as a business owner, it gets to a point whereby you have to focus on the strategy. You can't, like you said, you have to value your time, And then the truth is that sometimes some people can do things much better than you. You have to just learn to trust your network. Because whether or not you're there, let the process be in place whereby whoever it is that is coming on board already knows what they're supposed to do. So sometimes we have to give more trust to our co-workers, really, and you'll be shocked what they're going to bring back to you.
That's it. Have systems in place and have enough trust that when they make a recommendation that you value what they say.
Correct.
That's it. Now tell me, you had the Opeke. Is it Opeke?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And fashions.
Correct.
Were you a model?
Well, I'm my first model, of course.
She could be easily a model. She's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm one of things.
And tall.
Yeah, stately and all that.
Oh, okay.
So how did you grow up, Opeke?
Okay, so my maiden name is Opeke, and that means beauty. That's what it means.
So you are.
So by the way, my dad is very proud of that business name, So, but it was just apt for me to use the name because what I was doing was in the fashion business and it was geared towards women. So I just used it as, I registered the name and that was just perfect for it. Yeah, but what Opeke does is that we make easy to tie headgears. In our local language, we call it gele. In Nigeria, for those who know Nigeria, we party and we party hard. We party big, we don't mince words, we spend the money, So the gele is a very fundamental part of our dressing. So you go out now and you wear our native outfit and you're just, all made up, nice hair and all that. But somebody else comes, glammed up in our gele and all that. That's just a different level, So a lot of people we pay a lot of that and then we have events Mondays back to back 24/7. We always had events. There's something we're celebrating on the other. So it's a big industry whereby you get a makeup artist to come and make up your face and then tie your gele. So at some point, because like I said, I have an entrepreneurial mind. My mind is like a light bulb. I'm thinking, what next? So I was looking at the edges and I'm thinking, there has to be a simpler way to tie this because a lot of people can't tie it. So usually you have to get someone to come and tie it for you. So I started thinking, the major part of the tying were the pleats. It's a pity I don't have a sample here, but there's a way we layer the pleats that everything is also set, and then your face just comes out. It's so glamorous and all that. So, and I'm, okay, fine. What if I start folding and, sewing down the pleats and then just looking for a way to make it easy to tie and stuff like that. So that was how the journey started. And honestly, it's been great since that time. So when I launched it I remember when I launched it and they featured it on one of the blogs, my phone was off the hook. Calls here and there and things like that, So, but now we've had so many other variations of it, and I'm very happy that I pioneered it as something revolutionary in the fashion headgear industry. So, yeah. So
did you patent it? Did you patent it?
I did. In the U.S., in Europe and in Nigeria.
Marvelous.
Yeah, I did.
Brilliant. So what's the name of your gele?
Wow. Okay, so there are 4 types. So we have a shaket. Can you say that?
A shaket?
I know she didn't ask me.
Okay, no, you can try it. Go ahead. Okay, so we have ayaba.
Ayaba.
Okay,
so a shaket and an ayaba.
Then we have shoge.
Shoge.
And then we have orente.
Oriente.
Awesome, that's it.
The gillies, the 4 gillies. We have Mickey Gilly.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
He's a country western singer.
Barbara Pig just popped out with you.
Yes.
You have to make it look like a cowboy hat and call it the Mickey Gilly.
Oh yeah?
Because
we could look into that.
Go
Never
look.
can tell.
Yes.
Barbara Pocus.
Because he's a country western singer and had a nightclub called Gillies. So
Well, see, like, you solved the problem.
Correct.
yeah.
And I remember I said straight up front, if you want a business, then be someone that people like, trust, and solve a problem. And you solved a problem with so many women.
Correct.
How many have been in production? How many of those? Gillies?
Wow, I don't have it. But I remember that in our first month, we were already shipping to Australia, Ghana, Dubai. So many, most of our sales were outside Nigeria. Understandably so, because, outside here, it's not as easy as it is in Nigeria to get someone to help you with the head ties. So we realized that we're doing a lot of shipments outside. So I'm sure we would have done thousands, honestly. It's been
Wow.
great, yeah.
It's wonderful. So how did the birth of Trade Expo Africa begin?
Yeah, it started, okay, good question. It started when I
was going to ask that.
Okay.
Okay.
It's right here.
Okay, ask
But
it.
she always does that. She butts right in. Go ahead.
Okay, so it was during my journey towards being an exporter of my gilly from Nigeria to the US. So during that period, when I was doing all the research and all of that, I realized that there were so many local businesses as well who were looking for inroads into the US market, but they did not have access to market. And they did not know how to go about it, either they didn't have anybody here or how to go about it or all of that. So I learned a lot while trying to export my headgears into the US. So when I came here as well, I realized that there were also some people who were doing regular jobs who had spare time to do other stuff. Who were like, oh, my garage is free, you know, I want to do something that is on I want to do e-commerce, I want to, you know, so I realized that some people had enough time here to do a complementary business or to partner with someone in Africa. And then I chose Houston because, of course, you know, we have over 50,000 Nigerians here. You know,
Yes.
It's a huge African community. So I love the weather. I have family and friends here. So it was kind of like, you know, the go-to place for me. But when I was coming, I honestly didn't think about TEXA. But I thought that when I get here, I'm going to have a look at the terrain, you know, and then see where the opportunities are, you know. And so that's it. So I came here. And I looked at everything and I was like, wow, it would be nice to create events, you know, that facilitate bilateral trade between small businesses in African countries and here. So that was really the framework. And the rest is history.
So do you have different regions in Nigeria that you work with, like Bayelsa or?
Yeah, well, I was born and bred there, so I have a lot of network there. But the focus is not just on Nigeria, it's on Africa. So we have vendors coming in from Kenya, from Ethiopia, from South Africa, from Nigeria, Namibia, and then we have local businesses as well. So, yes, yes.
Is that all the ladies who gave you the
Yes,
purse?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
Bindukani, I can't remember.
And they have to have an equal amount of men and women on the government, is
yes,
that right?
Yes.
In Namibia?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's really great. Yeah, their house, or what do they call it? Not,
Yeah, their house or their commons or
whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
It's the English term.
So we do that
Okay.
Nigerian Content Investment Forum and interview a lot of the key people from Nigeria and other places, right, Barbara?
Yes.
And then the other women's conference. we
But it's
have.
more oil, it's more
Yeah.
specifically in the oil
Energy,
field.
energy.
Oh, okay, okay.
So-
yeah, Nigeria is big on that. Yeah. So yeah, so that was what led to the journey, and it's been very rewarding. It's been a lot of our vendors and our partners have been very supportive, like you guys, and also it's nice.
So you're going to have representatives from all over Africa
Correct.
with their products at this event, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Let's talk about the event, what the plans are. Tell us
Okay.
about it.
Okay, so it's a 3-day event. It's on Friday to Sunday, the 25th to the 27th of May. So it's actually next weekend. So it's going to start with pretty much the agenda. It's going to start with a conference at 10 o'clock, whereby we have a keynote speaker. Then we have the plenary session, you know, and we have representatives from the U.S. Small Business Administration. We have from Wells Fargo. We have from Export-Import Bank, that's Exim. We have from Port Houston, and a few others. So we have a plenary session whereby each organization has the opportunity to talk about their industry and how it affects small businesses, trade, import, export, and things like that. After that, we have a question and answer series, and then the exhibition is declared open. After that, Wells Fargo is going to do a workshop, you know, talking about small business loans and what the banks are looking for and things like that. And then SBA is going to take over to talk about SBA and the resources they have for small businesses. Because like I said, Trade Expo Africa focuses on small businesses. So anything that helps them in terms of facilitation, partnership, growth, and things like that, those kind of resources that we're getting for the Trade Expo. And then on Saturday, the exhibition is going to go on, and then we have Representative Sean Terry, who's going to come, you know, to also give us a speech. And then we're trying to confirm whether Sheila Jackson will be able to make it available, will be available for the expo. And then, so it's from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock on Friday and Saturday. But on Sunday, it's from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. You know, so by 2 o'clock, we're rounding up and things like that. But there's a lot that is expected to be there. There'll be so much networking, you know, there'll be so many resources there. You know, small businesses need to come out, ask questions, you know, see what's going on, you know, partner, leverage, collaborate, you know. So we're inviting everybody who's going to be around during that weekend. Come all or one of those days. It will be awesome.
The speakers, like for the Wells Fargo, are they sponsors or?
Yes, they are sponsors. Yes, they are.
There are other, have you, looking for any more lenders to get involved in, that do small business, or any micro lenders or anything, would y'all be interested in?
No, come again with that. I didn't get
A
that.
micro lender actually is ones that do even small,
No, I
ones
know
as
the
low as
micro
100.
lenders,
Okay, yeah, so I didn't know if you need
In
any
what capacity?
resources.
Oh, okay. In what capacity?
To
As
maybe be a
vendor?
sponsor or a table.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well,
Are
right
you-
now,
You're pretty full.
we're pretty full.
Okay.
In terms of vendorship, yeah, we're pretty full. So it's really more in terms of attendance and all that, yeah. So
How many
because it's
exhibitors
just-
will there be?
There are about 70. The hall takes about 110 if we did not have a conference part, but because we already have a plan for the conferencing and things like that, the remaining part of the hall, we're looking at about 70 vendors.
Wow.
From all over, yeah.
Cool.
And now, so many are from another country, they're here
Yes,
visiting.
so it's a mix, yes.
How does one, and this is from the other opposite end, I'm here in Houston, and let's say I want to deal with somebody there. How are they vetted? How do I know that I'm going to be dealing with somebody that is going to keep their promises about delivering in a timely fashion and delivering product?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be honest with you because everybody will face that risk as long as you're doing business with someone who is not by your side, you know, because I do business, you know, in Asia, I do business everywhere, you know, so how do I check? So, number one, our focus is to bring together small businesses. Our focus is to create platforms for you. Our focus is not to vet, you know, so
Right,
the onus
okay.
lies on the small business or the whoever it is that is involved in the business to do their due diligence. But however, for me, for example, if I'm going to do something in another state, in another country, I need to see your presence, you know, and then I'm not going to give you all the funds. Usually I do like a 30% deposit, and then when you're done what you're doing, you send me pictures, you do stuff and all of that. So luckily I haven't got my fingers burned. So the person has to do their due diligence, quite honestly. That's true. You know, because TEXA is not going to take responsibility.
Will there
for
be
it.
networking opportunities beyond the show? I mean, for people to collaborate, have a drink, and meet each other? Because it's really social. It's very difficult when you're behind a booth, get out there and talk to everybody.
Yeah.
It's kind of confining. And Barbara, she floats. So she's, yeah, Barbara doesn't care.
Stranger's not in my vocabulary.
No, it's just not. You know,
Really? I
I
like
turn around and she was right there, and then Don, I don't know, and then the goodbye tour. But is there like a
Goodbye tour.
networking event, a reception or something that,
Okay.
that people attend?
No, so there's no, it's not, nowhere is designated for that, but we're going to have an area whereby, so for some of the sponsors that give us some, you know, gift cards and stuff like that, we're going to have an area whereby we have light refreshments, you know, for people to go there. So we also advise vendors who are coming to come with one or two more people so that they can man the booth while you go out there, you know, to network. So I don't expect a vendor to just stay behind the stage and don't, so that's not going to happen, you know, because businesses are created when you meet new people, when you create relationships and things like that. So there'll be an area, you know, for that, for people to meet and talk and stuff like that throughout Friday, Saturday,
Well,
and
we'll
Sunday.
have little Bryce Michael Everhart, our 11-year-old youth entrepreneur, will be there with his silk lapel pins.
I look forward to meeting.
And people they want to have a picture taken of that little fellow. It's really something. And you'll see
He was
him
just on Houston Life on television the other day.
Really?
preempted by the president, you know.
So they've recorded it, so it's gonna be on, in the next week or two on television. So
The president
he's
called to
invited to
apologize
speak
to
to
him.
groups regularly.
Wow,
Sure.
really?
Yes.
I look forward to
They were
meeting
talking
you.
about college age and adults. He's spoken to groups about being an entrepreneur and how.
Wow. At
And we-
11 or 13? How old
He's
is
now
He's
11.
11.
He just
Oh,
turned
okay.
11
He started his company
at 8.
but he'll be attending with us on Friday and Sunday. But his mom's graduating from University of Houston downtown on Saturday. But he'll be there for people to meet and greet, and he's a celebrity in his own right.
Yeah, it said the flower lapel pins, pocket squares, and bow ties are what is his
Wow.
fashion line that he created and designed.
And then Delica
Wow.
Mandela has one, and Steve Harvey has one, and Tom Cook, the anchor,
Our
news anchor, has
Mayor
one.
Turner has.
So everybody wants to come and meet him.
Yeah.
Come to our booth. I don't know what the booth number is, but we'll also be doing a remote broadcast while we're there,
Right.
right? Probably on Friday. I'm assuming around the lunch hour between
Correct.
noon and
Right
2. I
about.
hope we don't lose too many people going out to go to their lunch, but
And I'm sure if you set up who it is and tell them what time they need to come over.
Yes, I got
Then we'll
those.
preset that.
Yes, I will get that.
So hopefully we'll have Jerry there as an engineer, and he'll be leaving his Comic-Con to come over. And,
Next year, you should combine
who-
Comic-Con with your event.
Yeah, there you go.
Then you.
Tell me about that.
Who will
Comic-Palooza, not
who will
Comic-Con.
we be interviewing? Like what kind of people?
Okay, so we're going to be interviewing representatives from the U.S. Small Business Administration. You know, the lead from Wells Fargo, the vice president from Wells Fargo. You're going to be interviewing from Exim Bank. You know, you're going to be interviewing some of the politicians who are coming. Some are yet to confirm. You know, you're going to be interviewing them. You're going to be interviewing Bernard Dacko. He's also he's doing very well. He's Ghanaian by origin, but he's based here in Houston, and he has contributed a lot, you know, to the small business, industry, small medium business industry. So people like that who are also doing tremendous work in the small business industry, you're going to be interviewing.
So you think those interviews will start at 11 or 12?
No, 12, because the plenary session is supposed to end around 12:15. You know, so it's going to be around that time.
So probably half a dozen interviews, maybe 15
Correct.
minutes apart,
Yeah,
something
correct.
like that, 15 minutes?
Yes. That's what I'm
Could you tell people how to find out more about this event?
I was just going to ask that.
Okay, you're always just about going to ask.
She does that. She preempts me. Go ahead.
Okay, so they can go to our website. That's www.tradeexpoafrica.com. We're on Instagram and Twitter at Trade Expo Africa. We're on Facebook and LinkedIn at Trade Expo Africa.
Trade Expo
Yes.
Africa.
Yes. So you can either register right now. Okay, you can only register as a buyer. It's free to attend, but the advantage of registering as a buyer is that prior to the event, about a day or two to the event, we're going to send you an agenda and the booth numbers of all the vendors. So it helps you to plan your journey while you're there, the booths you want to go to, and things like that. So we look forward to seeing you there.
And we will be giving away a $2,300 multimedia package as a drawing. And everybody who attends will get a complimentary digital subscription to the magazine. I don't care where they live.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
Great.
we're going to do both of those things and do the remote broadcast and have a little Bryce there, right?
That's right. But you don't have to come if you don't want to. I can do it without you.
But you never stay there. I mean, people could come up and, where's Barbara? I don't know.
My
Okay.
goodness,
That's a
Barbara.
good point. Good point.
Wow.
See, Barbara's in her own world, but it's okay because people know her there.
Well, really, I would like to, thank Barbara and Steve because, like I said, I offered them a little kindness, and what they're doing is much more than that, And that is just to say that sometimes when you do stuff expecting nothing in return, sometimes a lot more comes back to you. So it's nice for people to always do things for people, not because of any reason,
It is because it's a nice thing to do. It's a nice, right thing to
So
do.
thank you so much. The board is
Well,
happy.
it's our
delighted.
advantage too, to help
Yeah,
you bring more
appreciate
people
what you're
in
doing.
and possibly more subscribers and
Thank you.
maybe a few clients and such. But I want to ask a couple entrepreneur questions. Barbara knows I usually like to ask these. Before you started your company, what are 3 things that you're glad you knew before you started your business? And then on the flip side is what do you wish you knew? Because there are lessons learned. There's validation for, geez, I'm glad I knew about that. And there's like, why didn't I think about that? So those are 2 of my favorite questions. They're separate. So what are you glad you knew?
Okay, so right from the onset, I knew I had to build a team. So it was just about the timing and the resources. I knew that I couldn't do it on my own. I knew I had to delegate the less important stuff and focus on the important things. Yes. And then I knew that I had to leverage on my contacts, because that was really where I started. Even though I had a background in the banking industry, when I started my business, I went back to all the places I had worked because, those are the places I knew, in my corporate life. So I knew the importance of building networks and, nourishing relationships because, like I say, relationships are better than achievements, So I'm happy I knew that worked for me. And then I knew that I had to work with a team at whatever level, no matter how small, a cleaner, a help, somebody with, whatever it is, you can't do it on your own. And that way you're able to work smart and not just work hard. So I get that.
Now, what do you wish you knew? What
What
did you
I
learn
wish
like,
I knew.
oh my goodness, I should have done that, or I didn't know that. Some
But you
people
had to
expect
learn
it.
later.
And
Things
you
that
learn later.
that you wish you knew at the beginning. Anything?
You know, honestly, I can't think of any right
That's
now.
all right.
Because
It's okay.
yeah, because I didn't see my mistakes as mistakes. They were all, you know, because I wasn't running a race with anybody. I accepted the flaws, the mistakes, you know, and I was just, you know, getting better and all that. And sometimes everything is just about timing. I just feel what I didn't know then was because I didn't have to know it then, and you know, so
So you learned
I
as you
think,
went along?
yeah, I learned as I went along.
So it's that confidence that, you know, I'm gonna start out here and I'll learn as I go.
Exactly, that's
Well,
what I did.
That's what's so important. People that work for themselves especially, or anything one tries or wants to achieve, if they get a defeatist attitude, if something they try doesn't succeed at that for what they're trying, if they stop, then they don't go, there's nothing accomplished. If they learn from that and say, oh, let's now try another way to do this. And it's the ones that keep on trying,
Yeah.
eventually will find the right
Right,
solution.
exactly.
Has nothing, and one shouldn't call themselves a failure because something didn't work right. It's just a lesson learned
Yeah.
and how not to do it the next time.
Yes, and that exactly, and that's why I said, you know, to be a business owner, to be an entrepreneur, you have to have certain level of resilience.
How,
You know.
that's right.
Yeah.
How difficult has it been to get this conference off the ground?
Okay, you know, because right now, when I'm asked that question, you know, it's very funny because I'm able to compare it with two different scenarios. So doing business back home, you know, it's different from doing business here. Because back home, just like you asked me initially, you know, you're competing with so many things. You have to get your water, you have to get your light, you have to pay some bills, you have to make sure, you know, this is running. You know, so a lot of your resources goes to getting those things available. But here, even though you pay for them, the structure makes it easier for you. Once you have a plan, you know, the structure makes it easier for you to work. So compared to where I'm coming from, it's a lot easier than it was back home. Yeah, you know, because I have something. You may not have anything to compare with, so you may not understand what I'm saying. You know, but for me, it's if you can do business back home, you can do business in America.
Barbara, I
Yeah.
don't remember the conference that was about the empowerment of women
That's
in
the
business.
iAfrica. It was the iAfrica.
iAfrica?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And it was for women and women's rights and
And business opportunities and networking, and there were
Okay.
women from all over Africa.
right.
And that's where we interviewed Nindelica Mandela,
Uh-huh.
and I think that was at the maybe Houstonian, I can't remember. Or Hilton Americas, I can't remember where it was. And we also interviewed Bernard Campota.
No, Bernard Katumba,
Katumba.
and his wife Fifi,
Fifi,
with the
I got it.
DRC. He was running for
Okay,
president of the
Oh,
DRC.
wow, okay.
Katumba.
And the two ladies from,
From Namibia, the minister of
we learned a lot about that.
finance and
Mm,
education.
yeah.
They had some wonderful people that we met, and so much that one of the ladies, and I went blank on Pinducati's last name, but she was Minister of Education and Finance, I think. She gave me a mirror that I was just using in the other room, and it's got the jaguar pattern, and that is the national animal. And so she had decided before she went that she was going to give that to one person that impressed her.
Oh,
and
you're
this whole
lucky.
conference, she picked me.
I didn't need it,
Lucky
that's
you.
probably why she
I know,
I
I know,
became
right?
Barbara instead,
That was
right?
really sweet. Well, I don't think a mirror would. Oh,
And then you gave her
That's very
a Hamsa, I think.
Yeah, I did. I gave her a gift too.
So it was.
I like these. They make me think of the letter O, which is really Ola Yinka.
Look at that. Yeah, thank you.
Pretty, pretty earrings.
Thanks a lot.
So is that part of your line? The things that
No, not yet at least.
How challenging is it for a woman in Nigeria to start a business?
I wouldn't
Or
say
is
it's
it?
challenging. No, I don't think.
Because here you got Women's Business
Yeah,
Enterprise Law,
yes.
Women Contract Association, you know, we have a lot of different women's groups, National Association of Women Business Owners, right, Barbara? There's a lot of organizations there to help
here.
build women's businesses, and even the Office of Business Opportunity helps
Helps,
minority
yeah,
business, women-owned business, and veterans, right from the idea stage to getting certified to do business with the city and Metro and the port. But in Nigeria,
Is it
Is there
more
support?
difficult as a woman as opposed to a man in trying to do their own business? It's equally difficult.
No, I don't think it's. I don't think there's a gender bias to that, as it were, really, because even though the challenges are there, don't get me wrong, they're there, but the attitude towards the challenges makes all the difference, you know. But because like I said, regardless of the gender, if what is coming out of your mouth makes sense, if it's, you know, affecting someone positively, if it's fulfilling a need, somebody will listen to you. You know, you just have to keep knocking. So it's not. I don't think it's. I think for women, it might even be easier if you really know what you're doing, because you're a woman, you know, that gender thing, they're like softer on you, and then, you know, that kind of thing. But if it's a man, you know, you get what I mean. So that part is there. It has nothing to do with country or whatever it is. So for ladies, I like the fact that, you know, when you see a lady, you know, it's beyond, oh, she's pretty, she's that. Well, that's nothing. That's not a talent, you know. So it's not a gender specific or gender biased industry. Yeah. All the challenges that a lady may face, well, majority of what a lady may face, a guy can face it as well, you know. And so yeah, so I don't think it's a major issue.
Nothing takes the place of a great idea.
Yeah,
If people
exactly.
need the product, they will search it out,
So,
and the passion behind the person who's representing it,
absolutely.
and specifically to fill that need. You know, it's like, I tell realtors all the time, are you selling real estate, or are you helping people buy real estate or sell a home? Because you can't look at it that way. Once I got that when I was an apartment leasing agent, wait, I don't lease apartments, I help people lease apartments. It's about finding what they want or need. It's not about getting rid of these vacant apartments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's finding the right people for them and to match them up.
Yeah, right.
Once I got that, man, it was like, could I be 8? Holy mackerel. So, well, tell us some more about the conference, and give us some, if you're coming as an attendee and not an exhibitor, would be your advice to each attendee as to how to make the most of that conference?
Okay. Well, for any attendee that is coming, I want to believe you already have something in mind to want to come. So are you an aspiring entrepreneur, or you're already doing business and you're thinking, okay, I would like to expand, I would like to have more partners, either locally? Are you ready for export? Are you looking for investors? Or are you just there to see what resources are available for small businesses in Houston, you know? So it depends on what is in your mind, but all of that will be answered at the trade exhibition, because like I said, we're coming with different people from different, you know, industries, different perspectives, different, you know, so it's nice for you to come there, and don't just come there and just look around, talk to people, interact. If I didn't interact with Barbara the day I saw her at the Small Business Expo, I'm not going to be here today. You know, so that's how it is. So you have to talk. You know, so sometimes when some people tell you that, oh, I want to do business, but I'm not really I'm not a people person. I'm not sure how that works. You know,
If you have that problem, you're gonna have to take somebody with you that is.
Exactly.
You're gonna have to drag and say, I wanna talk to that person, help me talk to them. And get your teamwork, it's teamwork.
Yeah, yes.
That's so you've gotta team up with somebody that can
Exactly.
make those introductions.
Exactly.
Come with goals in mind, I would imagine, of what you want to accomplish before you even walk in the door.
Exactly.
And then make sure
Make
it's
sure.
based. And believe me, you may not need that product or service, but they might know something that you need to know.
Right.
Or they can probably answer a question. So many people walk by with no idea how that person could have been of assistance to
Yeah,
them.
yes.
They, well, I don't need that, or I have somebody who worked with that in this room. And they really should have stopped for a moment
Yeah.
to say hello, see what the promotion is and what they do, and find some way. And anytime you're networking, you know,
Correct.
I believe it's not about you. You do, what do you do, and how do you do it, right, Barbara?
Right. Another important thing you can do is you have a friend. Hopefully both of you are not shy. Both of you are outgoing. And they have their own business and you have your own business, but it's third-party validation. You have them go around and find people they think would be good for you and say, there's somebody I want to introduce you to. And you do the same for them. And it's more impressive to do that validation. Oh, I've got somebody I want you to meet, and I'll bring them over. I think y'all could really work together. So that's another way for somebody that's going to a conference or networking.
Yeah.
That works too.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
introduce you to
Right.
Dr. Yinka. She has this great expo, and we want you to. And I think you would fit together. That's what I'm always doing that about other people.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, but if you have another friend that's in business and does something different, then you go around and you validate each other. Sometimes it's better than saying, I do this and I do that.
Yeah.
It's
that's another way to look at it.
Barbara, do you want to relate to Dawn's story? I don't mind.
you can, you start, go ahead.
Well, I'm on backup, it's over, everybody's gone, and I'm out of here, right? And we were at the Houston Association of Realtors Expo a bunch of years ago, and I was already packed up, had the magazines in the boxes, ready to take everything out. And
By then he's always crabby and let's get out of here, let's get out of here. And then Eugene Michael brings somebody over. Do you have extra magazine for this? No, man, I'm all packed up. I'm out of here. I think we kind of met you at the same time, Eugene and I both, and he kind of just ran over.
I said, no, I'm out. I gotta go in the box. I gotta buy the right one. And no, man, she really wants a magazine.
So I was like telling him, get one, Steve. Yeah, so I always tell him, go ahead and get it. I kind of.
Well, I would be in a stubborn ass. I was, really. And if it had not been for that gesture, I mean, it's giving away a magazine for free. If I hadn't given Dawn a magazine, we would never have the relationship with her that we do, right?
Right.
So you
She
don't
impressed
know.
me when I first met her, and it was. But Eugene, he gets excited, and he wanted
Oh my
to do it. So
God,
I let him
yes.
go run and do his little thing, and God bless him. He's had his health issues, but anyway. And so I'm usually when he's got that crabby. I said, well, I still need a magazine. Go ahead and get it, and I'll be forcing him to get the magazines out when he's backed them up.
But you never know who you're going to meet, and you never know what kind of connection it's going to be. And just to hand this lady a magazine, what do you do? Oh, okay, well, we'll get together. I'll talk to you. And that's where a beautiful friendship started between Barbara and I and Dawn, who just happens to be here. See, we're not talking about her back, we're talking to her front.
So she's here.
But it was just from such an expo, and where I'm always ready to break down early. You never know who you're going to miss, and if you let your competitor break down early, and then that potential client only has you to talk to.
Exactly. That's
Right?
what
It's
you
like
are.
that for all that. But I know, Barbara, I'm always the one wants to leave, like right on the second.
Oh yeah, he gets there everywhere early and wants to leave early, or right at the very moment something ends.
But I want to say for the duration, and so we'll make the most out of the show, and again we'll do a $2,300 multimedia package for which works best for vendors here.
Great.
But include the radio show, the social media promotion, the ad, the magazine, the invitation to our
Special.
lunch and learn, our VIP launch party. It's all in that package.
And they get to meet me.
Yes,
That's
God
something.
knows.
That's
Yes.
something.
If she's there, she may be.
Love myself.
I don't know where Barbara is.
But what I also tell people is that sometimes focus on meeting people, knowing people, not on trying to get business out of them. Because sometimes that can, rub off on people wrong way.
Of course.
So try to think, all those things will follow over time, because that's the only way you can build a sustainable business, where you're not looking at getting the moment I'm meeting you. What do you do? How do you, no. Just know
That's
that.
more like a man. Men do that more.
Women,
that's a man.
Okay.
Men do that.
Men
They
are
wanna-
more compartmentalized.
and the women want to find out. Oh, where'd you
I
go?
know.
Oh,
Where your
your
kids
children.
go?
Everybody
Barbara,
has
you
You
their-
told me
got
you met
idea.
this beautiful woman, right?
Uh-huh.
And were you coming on her hair or outfit you something?
I think it was weren't you wearing the
Well,
head?
yeah, it was my hair. She come in. Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Did you get a name or you just know the hat?
Well, you see, I remembered her. So that's how it works,
And
really
it's funny,
nice.
I was always brought up, and of course it turned out to be a sales tool. I never knew it or meant it to be, is I enjoy complimenting people.
good.
My mother said that you never know when somebody's having a bad day,
Correct.
and it's nice to give compliments, especially if it's a sincere one. Don't go and give something that's phony.
Yeah.
It has to come from the heart. And it was an example, it was a man that had a convenience store down from my school, and my mother would stop there after school, and his name was Mr. Womack, and every day he was very crabby, and she'd smile, hello, Mr. Womack, how are you doing today, Mr. Womack, and always had a smile, and so I was with her. And one day, out of the blue, he opened up his wife as very ill and blah, 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 blah. And she said, see, you always see how, people that you may assume crabby, but because of that, there were signs on the door, no children without their parents, but I was the only kid that could go in there without my mother, that he knew that we were nice people. But it's always nice to be nice and to offer to be helpful. Whatever it is, it's the right thing to do. If something good comes out of it, so be it. But we enjoy, our pleasure both is to help other people meet other people in business, to matchmake, to help them. And that gives us great pleasure. Our money isn't selling ads, and of course we sure would be helpful to sell some ads, but our deepest pleasure is in connecting people to be successful. And that's the truth. If you're doing something, not looking at what you're going to get out of it, it always is so much more. Every successful person I've interviewed shares that same practices. Don't be looking to see what you can get from somebody. And I say, pardon the expression, but don't throw up on somebody when you meet them. Don't just give up.
Exactly. Oh, exactly.
I'm the blah, 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 and this is what I do, and blah, 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 and
people don't know any better. Most people have not been taught how to network.
Right.
Correct.
And they think it's about giving their little
spiel,
their
their
pitch.
elevator pitch.
Right.
And it's not. It's about
You're right.
find out who they are and what they need,
What
and
they
helping you
need.
help them, because it's
Correct.
going to reciprocate.
Correct.
And
What
if,
do you do? Go ahead.
And if they say what they need and you realize, I can't help that, find somebody that
who can.
And they're going to, in turn, say, they help me. I know what you do. I'll find somebody who helps you. It's a reciprocal thing.
Correct.
You start helping others,
Correct.
and they're going to help you too.
Correct. It always works like that.
Remember that with Bishop Oscar Payton?
Yeah, yes.
Somebody told me, I don't know what he can do for me, but at least I can
Help him with the
say help
coffee.
him and use some Minority Spire Development Council, and then went on to
Sam's Club.
Sam's Club. And,
Yeah,
yeah, his family's still carrying on
that legacy.
that legacy.
Wow.
Yeah, so
So Jerry, time-wise,
We have about 4 minutes if you want.
okay.
Well,
all right.
again,
Let's repeat.
let's go back to about TEXA, which is the T for the trade, Expo,
Africa.
Africa. So you made EX for the Expo.
Mhm.
Got it. And it's cute because it's in
The
Texas.
logo said Africa.
Yeah, TEXA.
It didn't say A on the end, it was Africa. And there was the picture of Africa,
Yeah,
which I think
Africa, yeah.
that was A, I guess.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I have a background in branding, advertising, so yeah, I brought that to play.
That's cute. That's cute. So
Thank
you're
you.
just gonna have it in Texas? Is that where are you planning to go other places?
Quite honestly, sometimes when you start something, it gets clearer the more you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say it's only gonna be in Texas, because at the end of the day, it's not really about what I want, but what is the industry asking for. So I think we're just gonna,
Based
see
on
how it
need
goes.
and demand.
Correct.
So where do you live normally?
Southwest.
Is it
Yeah,
in
here
Houston?
Yeah,
In
correct.
Houston.
Yes, in
So
Houston.
how often do you go back to your homeland?
I look forward to going back after this event. I need a break. Yeah.
Any of your siblings live here or in the U.S., or most of them still in Nigeria?
Nigeria.
Most of them Nigeria.
Yeah.
They'd be going home to
Yeah.
be with your family.
Yeah.
All right, one more time, how does somebody register as an attendee or get information on sponsorships or what have you?
Okay, so you go to our website www.tradeexpoafrica.com and you register as a buyer. Or we're also on Eventbrite. You can also register on Eventbrite or on our social media handles. That's at Trade Expo Africa. That's on Instagram and on Twitter. On LinkedIn and on Facebook, we're Trade Expo Africa. But please visit our website and register.
Excellent, excellent. Anything, what's the favorite part of the event you think you're looking forward to?
I think it's just about having the different small businesses from different countries, different states coming together, and just talking and exploring possibilities and stuff like that. I also look forward to the workshop that's going to be done by the Sam's Club, because that also helps small businesses who are looking at exports, to see how they want to go about it, because a lot of people don't know how to go about that. I don't know how to go about that, exporting from the U.S., so that's also a highlight for me. And of course, the plenary session, whereby a lot of people get to know so many things that they did not even know, because sometimes I tell people, you can't rise above your level of information. If you don't know something, you can't leverage it. So it's nice for them to also be a part of the conference, to hear so much information and then see how that helps their business.
Wonderful. I have an idea for your gillies.
Gillies?
Yes, you could have gillies representing different countries, so you could have an Irish gilly, and you could
Oh
have
my
it for St.
goodness.
Patrick's Day. It could
Okay.
be green and have little shamrocks on it or something.
Okay.
If
We'll
you-
take
If
that
you ignore
offline.
her, she might stop.
And then, of course, Texas has to have little cowboy hats. Last
Okay.
Okay,
you can have
Barbara,
rope
thank you.
material.
Anyway,
Barbara.
so we are recommending that if, when you hear this, go to the website, register to attend. There can be a lot of terrific vendors there, some great information being shared, and you may not be looking at Africa for marketing of your product, but big place, and you just never know what you can provide that they need. So come and explore. Come with all goals that you want to meet, how many people you want to meet, what you want to
You
learn.
use your time effectively, exactly.
Use your time effectively.
So definitely
and,
register if you can. It's free to
Yeah,
register.
it is free to register.
I mean,
and
well-
you can register on sites as well.
And if there's a speaker you want to meet with, go ahead and go to LinkedIn and find them and say, gee, if you have time for a cup of coffee, I'd love to meet with you. I'm sure they'll be honored.
Right.
So before that, you just had to find these people somewhere,
have to, yeah.
and get away from all the crowds. But that's a great way to start. Because me on Facebook, I learned a lot about you from Facebook first. So
Will
anyway,
they be able to pre-order lunches while they're there, or is it just they'll just when it's a lunch break they'll just go all
They'll
around?
just go on, yeah.
I'd say it's a couple food trucks out there.
Will you have vendors that people can buy some things while they're there?
The hotel is frowning at that, so I'm not sure.
Well, they shouldn't frown.
So we're gonna, they are. So we're gonna have, some finger food, cutsy, some of our sponsors. And
I
stuff
think
like that.
we're about
no,
out of
no
time.
clothing or
Yep.
or gillies
Yep.
I can hang out.
We're about out of time. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you.
Yinka,
Thank
for
you so much.
being on the show and having us as a media sponsor, and looking forward to a very successful event next weekend at the Hyatt Regency, and it's going to be terrific. Barbara and I and Sharika and Bryce and whoever else wants to come.
Jerry will be
And
there.
Jerry will be there
Friday
For a
for
while.
a little while.
for a while.
And our special visitors here,
You'll invite them in 10 minutes.
Dawn and Nicole.
They'd like
Say
to come.
hello.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this has been a great show. If you missed it, part of it, the audio will be on Facebook, on the Small Business Today Magazine Talk Show Facebook page, as well as my own, as well as Small Business Today Magazine. Going to share it with you, Yinka.
Sure.
And this will be like minutes from now, as long as Jerry has everything set up. And I don't know when our next show is, but we'll let you know.
We'll let you know.
We'll let you know when we feel like it. And you can listen to Small Business Today Magazine Talk Show
On the
SBT Magazine Radio Network.